Due to the live stream of the National Church Service on Sunday, November 3, Urban Paradise will not be aired. Nationwide 90 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Not a mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all the schoolers who are taking them beats.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team. Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Me sing, book, and if you pressure on no book, you're illiterate and foolish, you might on a cook, and you're not gonna get no work.
Good evening, Jamaica. It is 5 minutes after the hour of 8. This is the A-Team radio show right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the best revolution station in Jamaica. And like I always say, each and every week across the world, we are coming to you live from our studios here at 6 Bradley Avenue. And at this time on a Friday night, we get into the books as we recap all that you have learned in the classroom. But tonight we're going to be continuing our conversation on Maths. That's Additional Mathematics Part 2. We have with us again this evening Damian Chippy with us from Chippy Tutoring Services. And that's one of the things that we do here. We give the students all the tools that they need that is necessary for their preparation of their external exams. And so tonight I want to encourage all of us to hop on to the YouTube live because we're going to be doing some demonstration this evening, some what do you call it, tutorials in a sense.
Yes, tutorials.
And so you want to see what our tutor will be doing tonight as it relates to mathematics. I'm going to sit back and learn some maths tonight. And one of the things I realized, Damien, is that there are a lot of jobs that you need mathematics for,
Yep.
right? As I was reflecting and preparing, and I came across some such as, like data analysts and research scientists, even software engineering. Mm-hmm. There's some element of mathematics that you have to add to that, So if you're a maths guru, and you are looking for something in that area, then you want to ensure that you're passing AdMaths, passing Pure Maths, and basically passing basic level maths too, 6 at the CXC level. So tonight we're going to be focusing on that, and I know that you're going to carry us through. We're going to be looking at, again, just the layout of the examination paper. We would have touched on that last week, where we spoke about the need for students understanding the importance of critical thinking. How do you approach the paper? So it's all about math tonight, and so I want you to just hop onto the YouTube live. I know you're going to get get us ready. So what is the first thing that we're going to be looking at as we move?
We'll be looking at the format of the exam as they would have been prepared to sit it for May, June next year.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to just turn it over to you.
All right. Now, the maths paper, the CSEC AdMaths, as we now know it,
yes,
consists of the paper 2, that is, we're speaking on paper 2. Paper 2 will now be consisting of 6 questions, all compulsory.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Where from the 6 questions, each area 2 questions going to come from section 1. Section 1 of the syllabus deals with algebra, sequence, and series. All right?
Right.
Which value 15 marks each. 1 question from section 2, which deal with coordinate geometry, vectors, and trigonometry, which value 20 marks. And then 2 questions from section 3, which deals with introduction to calculus.
Yes.
All right, which value 15 marks each. And then 1 question from section 4, which is probability and statistics. Now, they used to have kinematics, but apparently going forward, the students not worrying about kinematics anymore. I mean, should have, but hey, that's the change of the syllabus.
Right.
All right. So that's the whole. As I tell students, if you are not prepared, the formula page that you will be viewing in the exam is of no use to you any at all. All right.
Right.
So you have a formula page. On the formula page, I guess people on the YouTube, I think, is able to see the formula page, arithmetic series,
Right.
formula, geometric series, circle formula, vectors formula, trigonometry formula, differentiation formula, statistic formula, probability, and again, although this formula have a kinematic formula, but as we know it going forward, kinematics will not be on the paper 2. All right. Now, as again, section 1, algebra, sequence, and series. 2 questions from section 1. All right.
Yes.
Now, so that's the breakdown of the paper so far, as we see it. So the total marks there is 100 marks from paper 2. Got 20 marks. 15 marks each for question number 1 and 2. Then 20 marks for question number 3, 5,
Right.
4 and 5. 15 marks each, and then number 6 is 20 marks. So in total, that would be 100 marks for the entire paper. All right. So that's the breakdown of your paper. All right. For those who are on YouTube, viewing on YouTube, they'll be able to see my sample paper
That you have up, right?
that I have up.
And this is section 1.
And this is section 1.
Right.
Number 1 and 2 would be section 1 under the sections sequence and series and algebra. All right. So, do you want me to go ahead with that, like going through the?
Yeah, man. Because we're seeing the visuals, so we want to just go through it.
Okay, good. Now, one of the things the students must understand in doing the exam. The exam is marked out of, let me verify the exam in terms of the profile, concept, algorithm, how you deal with, how you do it. They set out your algorithm knowledge, you have conceptual knowledge, algorithm knowledge, and reasoning. Again, student, as I said, the algorithm in paper 2 especially accounted for
most of the marks.
More than half the mark,
54
mark.
right.
So I always stress it to students that they have to ensure that they show the algorithm in solving the problem. What do we mean by algorithm in solving the problem? Is a step-by-step approach that you use to solve the problem. All right? So without that, students, again, that's 54 marks, more than half the total marks of the paper.
So a lot of attention needs to be placed there.
So it's a big deal.
Yes.
It's a big deal for paper 2. All right? Now, when it come on to the reasoning now follows secondly in regards to the total number of marks, in terms of the number of marks received,
Which is
30.
Right.
All right? And then conceptual knowledge account for 16 marks. So you realize knowledge base is pretty much small.
But necessary.
But necessary. So you normally see students have a lot, the profile A for knowledge. Can they have the knowledge? But it's just that how they go about with their reasoning skills and showing the algorithm in solving the problem is lacking. All right?
Right.
So that's what I want to stress. I want to stress how you go about reading the question, understanding the question, and apply yourself with the reason.
Right.
And then you show your step-by-step approach in solving the problem. That's the algorithm.
All right, so I want you to just hold that point there as we take our first break. When we come back, much more. And again, if you are at home and have access to YouTube, I want you to hop on the live because we are doing some visuals tonight as we look at Add Mathematics. We'll be right back after this break.
You illiterate and foolish, you might on a cook. And you not go get no work, and your teeth like a puss. Send me granny with a purse, I eat you off the joke. If I see them, I will you
guilty. Outperform, outlast. Guilty. With top performance. Guilty. Guilty. Jackama. Reliable. Full stop. Not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton. Available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-6111-4. Delta Supply. We service what we sell.
November is being celebrated as Local Government and Community Month under the theme Local Government at Work, Facing the Future Together. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Sunday, November 3 for the live streaming of the National Church Service, or visit the Webster Memorial United Church, 53 Halfway Tree Road. Don't miss this spiritual broadcast. Come and join the praises with us as we take you on a spiritual journey. So tune in to Nationwide 90 FM from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Sunday, November 3, 2024. It's the National Church Service. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. Due to the live stream of the National Church Service on Sunday, November 3, Urban Paradise will not be aired. Nationwide 90 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause.
Me sing, bup, bup, bup. And if you pressure who no buck, you illiterate and foolish, you might on a cook. And you not go get no work, and your teeth like a puss. Send me granny with a purse, I eat you off the joke.
Welcome back to the A-Team Radio Show. This is Damien Scarlett sitting in this evening, and I have with me in studio my guest Damien Chippy. We're in part 2 of our lesson or tutoring tonight. Last week we started by looking at Add Mathematics, and tonight we're going through some samples. And as we look at the tutorials, we're learning how to apply the knowledge and what we're going to be doing right now. So hop onto the YouTube, and Damon is going to be working out on the smartboard for us a particular question that is surrounding functions. As we talk about the domain of functions and what that is all about. I'm trying to go back into my mathematical mind as we're about to do that, because I know that one of the things with the domain of functions, as we're talking about like the set of the input values that we're trying to find,
yes. Which the domain is now the input value, the
right.
X values.
Okay.
All right?
But we're seeking to find Y.
Yes, in regards to the first question.
Okay.
So looking for those who are on YouTube, looking at the visual, you can actually see a sample question here that number 1A, part 1, they ask you to determine the range
Yes.
of the function. The range of the function is really finding the Y value. Now, as it is, they give you the domain, which is the X value. So the corresponding X values are -2, -1, 0, and 1. Now, all you have to do in order to find the range for each of the X value, you're going to just substitute it in the function given. In this case, the function given, f of x equal 2x minus 5. So where the x is, you substitute it, you replace it for each element in the domain.
In the domain.
So we have f of -2,
right,
replacing the x value, that is, so it's 2 times -2 minus 5 here. We know 2 times -2, -4, then minus 5. So that's here, it's 9, minus 9. So the range when when domain is minus 2, the range is minus 9. All right?
Right.
Then we come now when the domain is minus 1, we say 2 times negative 1 minus 5, that's negative 2 minus 5, that's now negative 7. When the domain is 0, 2 times 0 minus 5, that's 0 minus 5 equal to negative 5. If you notice, you can see a sequence, you can see a trend.
Yes. In terms
Minus
of the
9, minus 7. So you add 2 for each
As
of
you-
them
as
as
you
you
go
go
along.
along. Then 1, when the domain x is 1, 2 times 1 minus 5. So that's 2 minus 5 equal to negative 3. So therefore the range in this case would have equal to minus 9 minus 7 minus 5 minus 3. And that would
complete.
be complete. Yeah, and so this one would have been normally a knowledge-based type question.
Okay.
All right. Then for those who
But that's a clarity though. When you say determine the range of the function, what exactly does that term itself mean?
the range,
Right.
the range meaning the y value,
Okay.
the output value. Yes, I mean,
Right. Okay.
of the function. Yes. So let me clear my screen here and scroll down. And for those who you would be familiar with this one, the inverse of the function. So the function initially, as we know, is f of x
Right.
equal to 2x minus 5. Finding the inverse of that. Mark you, 1 mark. Students would have already know, like a simple function like this. I mean, after taking them thoroughly through it,
Yes.
would have already known that the answer would be x plus 5 over 2. Yes, I mean, but if I should show you the algorithm, the step-by-step approach in finding the inverse, step 1, you'd have first make the function f of x equal y, because the function is really y. You answer me? F of x or g of x or h of x. 2x minus 5. Step 2, we then interchange the x and y variables, meaning that wherever the x is, you put y, wherever the y is, you put x. So we have x equal to 2y minus 5. And then step 3 now, you transpose for y, meaning that what we mean by transpose,
Well, so before you go to transpose, so if I understand clearly, so there's a sense of mapping that is going on.
yes, but a more, well, in a sense, what is really we're switching what is initially the x value that now becomes the y value, and what was initially the y value now becomes the x value.
Okay.
But you need a function for that, and that's what they're asking you. What is the function, the expression, the algebraic expression for
Right.
that?
Okay.
So now we're transposing now for y. What do we mean by transpose? We want y to be alone on one side.
Right, and then
So
yes.
good. So take the minus 5, carry it over here. That becomes a positive 5.
Right.
You get that? So that is now.
When I was in high school, sometimes if you put the plus 5 there, would that be?
Oh well, the truth is, what really happened? Your plus 5 here,
Yes.
and your plus 5 here to keep a balance. But
Okay.
you know, kindergarten style. I mean, they would have already understand the backdrop of that.
Right.
All right. Anybody who is doing AdMath at this time should understand the backdrop of that.
Okay.
So now, we have x
X.
plus 5 equal to 2y.
2y.
But remember now we're transposing for y, meaning that we want y to be alone. So we need to get rid of the multiple, which is 2. The opposite of multiplying is divide. So you divide here by 2.
Right, and
You
divide
divide here by
2.
2 to maintain a balance. So y now equal to x plus 5 equal to 2. Therefore, the inverse of the function is x plus
Plus
5 over 2.
2.
I mean, for 1 marks, really, many students who are very familiar, because this is a very simple inverse, so they
Right.
can actually look at it and tell what the inverse is. So
Right.
again, so this would have been more like a knowledge base, if you ask me.
I think I would get the 1 mark right
Yeah.
there, so I remember that
Good.
much.
But it's just that I want to show the algorithm, the
Yes.
step-by-step approach in actually arriving at the solution.
Would I be able to look at the question and just determine that the inverse of the function is
Yes, many students will
without
be able to.
doing all the working on that?
Yes, because
Okay.
because this is a very simple function. So many students, even 60 students that I teach, can actually look at this and tell me the inverse of this function. Mark it for some function. They have to more go to the step-by-step approach in actually
Right,
to
to get
determine.
there, right.
But like this one is a very simple one. If you notice the mark that they award for it. So that's not necessarily the issue in this area. Now coming down to the other part of the question. Well, this is just sketching the graph of f of x and
Yes.
the inverse on the same axis. So it's a sketch. Now, when I said sketch, is not you getting a graph paper and sketching the graph.
Right.
Now, remember that f of x and not you getting the graph paper and drawing the graph. It's just a sketch. You get your ruler, your pencil, and you draw. Remember that f of x initially is 2x minus 5. We also know the inverse of f of x, which is x plus 5 over 2.
Right.
Now, when you're sketching these functions, they ask you for a sketch. There are certain things that you want, element that you want to have in place. One, where the curve cut the y-axis, where the curve cut the x-axis, and where the curves meet. Now, where the curve cut the y-axis, so here, if I should draw, I'm just going to do, well, let me not do freehand here, let me get my, so drawing my x and y axis, students would have already known that the x and y axis is a vertical and horizontal line. All right, so the y-axis is the vertical line, the x-axis is the horizontal line. Now you'd want to know where the curve cut the y-axis, number one. Now wherever the curve cut the y-axis, the corresponding x value must be 0. You understand me? So therefore, if you look at f of x, the original function, if x is 0, y would be minus 5. Why? You get that? So that cut the y-axis here at minus 5. Now look at the inverse of the function. If x is, in this case, if x is 0, y would be 5 over 2, which is 2.5. So
You'd have to map that in that way.
so not yet. We're just putting in certain parameters first.
Okay.
All right. Now looking at the x-axis, now we want to see where the curve cut the x-axis. Wherever the curve cut the x-axis, the y value must be 0. So if the curve is cut the x-axis, meaning that for the original function, 2x minus 5 equal to 0. What's the value of x? The value of x would have been x equal to 5 over 2. So this is 5 over 2, positive 5 over 2. That's for the original function. Now for the inverse of the function, x plus 5 over 2 equal to 0. This over 1 is x plus 5 equal to 0. That's minus 5 over here. You understand me? So you get those parameters in place. Now the next move now is to see now where both curves meet, and then you can easily draw. First thing, we know that these are straight lines because these are linear functions,
Right.
meaning that they are straight lines. All right. Now let us see where both.
And if I
Let me-
remember, there's a formula for straight line, eh?
Yeah, but yes, but as it is, students would have known what is meant by a linear function. All right, because while teaching, you ensure as a teacher you emphasize that. So when they hear a certain term and they see certain algebraic expression, they know whether it's a linear form or not.
Okay. All right.
So now the next move now is to see where they both are equal. So 2x minus 5 is equal to x plus 5 over 2. And then we solve for x, meaning that where both functions are equal to each other, that's where they meet. You get that? Because they meet at a single point. So we will find the x value where they meet. So now we multiply diagonally, we would have get 4x minus 10 equal x plus 5. Put all the x together on one side. This will be 3x over this side, and this will be 15 here. So x is 5.
It's 5, right.
All
In my mind, I envision working that down further to put the 3 over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the students, especially the advanced students who are actually paying attention to this, they would clearly understand, what I do in regards to arrive.
All right, I want you to hold that point for me, Damon. We're going to take a break. We're looking at how we sketch our graphs. I'm learning about functions, inverse of functions, and how you represent that on your horizontal and vertical line. When we come back from the break, much more on AdMath. Sunko.
And you not go get no work, and your teeth like a puss. Send me granny with a purse, I eat you off the choke. If I see them, I hold your red and big tonight. You puke, we look and say.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
This is your chance to upgrade your kitchen with the Mega Kitchen Promotion. Tune in to Outside with Pepita from 2 to 5 p.m. for the Mega Kitchen Promotion at Megamart, 29 Upper Waterloo Road on Saturday, November 2, 2024. Spend $6,000 or more before GCT at any Megamart location for a chance to win a brand new stove, fridge, and microwave this Christmas. Come on down to Megamart Waterloo for all the excitement, hype, and games. Walk away with prizes and interact with your favorite brands and products. Don't miss out. Come to Megamart Waterloo for the fun and leave smiling with prizes. Join us outside with Pepita on Saturday, November 2 from 2 to 5 p.m. It's the Mega Kitchen Promotion at Megamart, 29 Upper Waterloo Road, Kingston, or tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Megamart. Due to the live stream of the Mega Kitchen Promotion outside broadcast on Saturday, November 2, 2024, Design Studio will be aired only from 1 to 2 p.m. Nationwide 90 FM apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
Me sing, bup, bup, bup. And if you pressure on no bup, you illiterate and foolish, you might on a cook. And you not go get no work, and your teeth like a puss. Send me granny with a purse.
Welcome back to the A-Team radio show. It's all about mathematics. I feel like I'm in the classroom again, definitely because Damon has come with a whiteboard, a smartboard, everything. And if you're in school and you hear about the different types of graphs, linear, quadratic, and the list goes on and on. And then earlier when I mentioned about the straight line, we know that mx plus b. Talk about the straight line. I remember that much. But just before the break, you were showing us how to sketch the graph, and we already solved for x. Was it x?
Yes.
X is 5.
Yes, x is 5, y is 5. But then again, we were able to show it on the graph why the graph is not drawn to scale.
Okay.
So you see the finishing product here is show you both lines, the inverse of the function, and it show you the function itself here. You get that? So therefore, this is a sketch, and the word sketch meaning that they are not scaled, so they are not accurate.
Oh, I was about to mention that because
so you drawing, you just want to focus on especially the points on the x-axis, the y-axis for both lines.
Okay.
And you can see where they both meet. So this would be like the finishing of the sketch of the graph. Now, going on to the other part of the question, we can comment on the relationship between the two graphs.
Okay. Yes.
One have a decreasing gradient and one is an increasing gradient. You understand me? And they're both linear. They're both straight line. Okay. All right? Mm-hmm. Good. No, but that's not so much of the problem that many students would have. Because believe it or not, some students would have started encounter problem from, indices equation and logarithm. So this is a perfect example.
So now we're going to
part B.
Solve.
We're solving the equation. Clearly, we're solving for the unknown variable. In this case, the unknown variable is x.
Okay.
Good. Mm-hmm. So this would have been now like a indices equation where we have 2 raised to the power of x plus 2x plus 1, plus 5 times 2 to the x minus 3 equals 0. Mm-hmm. Now, the truth is that this equation here, we'd go about it by using the process of substitution, in order to solve this problem. First thing first, if you notice, this is 2 to the x, right here. We want to break down this right here. Let me use a red marker to really highlight it. We want to break down the 2 to the 2x plus 1 by your knowledge of indices. So you have to have knowledge right here of indices, and then you are able to know how to apply your knowledge. Because, in indices, we know that when we multiply indices with the same base, we add them. So now I'm working in the reverse. So this is my reasoning skill here, to know that I'm working in the reverse. So this will be 2 to the 2x times 2 to the 1. Now, in add maths, pure maths, you use a dot for multiplication. Right. You don't do that so much in CSEC. But when we reach add maths or pure maths, it's okay. You can start demonstrate that with them. So now, after that, you want to ensure that this 2 to the 2x, we want to see if we can extract a 2 to the x from it. Now, we know, again, in regards to the indices or laws of indices, we know that when we raise our indices to another power, we simply multiply the powers. Mm-hmm. So, in this case, this will be 2 to the x raised to the power 2 times 2 to the 1. And then what we're going to do now is say another letter, any letter, although we're going to use y, because x and y is pretty much common as the variables. Y equal to 2 to the x, because I'm going to use my method of substitution, because sometimes students are, when it's overcrowded, they're not able to see their part. Mm-hmm. So now you use that to kind of eliminate the whole overcrowdedness in regards to the problem. So this is now y square, 2y square, by the way, all of this is 2y square, because 2 to the 1 is 2 times y square is 2y square, plus 5y minus 3 equal to 0. Now in doing this, we're now gone into quadratic equation. So the topic is not quadratic equation, but in doing in AdMaths here, we in solving another topic, it bring you back to previous topics that you should already know. All right, and this one now would have been quadratic equation. So now, and when you deal with quadratic equation in AdMaths or even pure maths, I teach them that, look, you have to get into the habit of knowing how to factorize quadratic expression. Because there are various ways of solving quadratic equation, but really for the syllabus, it's very important that you understand how to factorize.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Good. So therefore, now we factorize where the product and sum. The product, we know that is a times c. The a is the variable beside the y square. The b is the variable, the coefficient of y square, that is a. B is the coefficient of y, while c is just a constant.
Right.
So product is A times C, so it's 2 times minus 3, that is equal to minus 6. While the sum, which is B, which is 5. You're going to find two numbers. When you multiply it, you get minus 6, and when you add it, you get the 5. Now, as I tell students, for my admin students, I don't need, once I teach them in CSEC, I don't need to do what I'm about to do. But just for the viewers, I'm going to do so. All right? Now, we find a suitable pair factor of the product. Suitable pair factor. A pair factor means any two numbers when they multiply to get the product, which is minus 6. So we say 1 times 6, 2 times 3, right? That's about it, right? But which one of them would be more ideal to get back the 5? Looking at both of them, they're both ideal to get the 5.
Right.
Now, how do we differentiate which one is which? Is because only one of them is correct. Only one is correct. So now, what we do now, I would tell students that you have to understand the sign rule, the multiplication of the sign rule, negative and positive, and the addition of sign rules.
So is that in a sense some kind of discriminant or?
No.
Okay.
So in this case now, you just have to know your knowledge of multiply the sign rule. We know that negative, in order to get the product to be a negative, is either a positive times a negative equal to a negative, or a negative times a positive is still equal to a negative. However, because the sum is a positive, the bigger value of the two going to take on the positive value. So in this case, can it be this one? No. It all boils down to here. So this is going to be negative 1, and this is going to be positive 6, which is equal to negative 6. Negative 1 plus 6 equal to 5. So the two numbers that we're going to use to break up the middle value right here is minus 1 and 6. It's just that we're going to put the y beside them, really. So it's minus y, 6y. So now 2y minus y plus 6y minus 3 equals 0. So now we bring it down to another method of factorization, which is groupings. 4 terms. We just group them in 2s and factorize each group by the HCF method. So now we have another method, that is HCF, highest common factor method. Y into 2y is 2. Y into it to minus y is minus. So y into 2y is y, not 2, right? No, this is supposed to be square. Y into 2y square is 2y, and y into it minus y is minus 1. Okay, bring down the 2y here. That's why 2y square. Good. Then whatever sign greeting in the second bracket, that's the sign they bring down. And then what can go into 6y and 3, that is 3. 3 into 6y is 2y.
2y.
3 into itself, minus 1. I'm sorry, 3 into minus 3 is minus 1. Now, the truth is that the rule is that these two brackets must always be the same. If they're different, you know you're on the wrong path.
Right.
So now we have y plus 3 and 2y minus 1 equals 0. So now, to solve now, we have make each of these factor equal to 0. So y plus 3 equals 0. Y is equal to minus 3. Or 2y minus 1 equal to 0. Y is equal to a half. Now, we're not finished because there was no y in the problem. So the examiner don't care about your y. It's just that we use strategic way to solve the problem. But remember, initially we said y is equal to 2 to the x. So if this is 2 to the x equal to minus 3. For those who know and understand indices, you know that it's not possible to raise a positive base, which is 2, to a power to get a negative value. It's not possible. So in this one, we ignore this answer.
So
you get that?
It's not a...
That cannot...
The indices is not a positive.
So you can't have a positive base to a power to get a negative value. That's not possible. All right, so we ignore this and that part of the answer. Then we look at the other answer where y, which is 2 to the x, equal to a half. So it's now 2 to the x equal, students would know that a half is the same thing as 2 to the minus 1. Alright? So hence, since the bases are now the same on both sides of the equation, we can now forget them and focus on the power. So x equal to negative 1, and that's the answer. You get that?
So we basically, I see a lot of groupings here. So you're pretty much using all the discipline or the principles.
Good.
From,
So if you notice,
from that trend.
good. This one question here brings about multiple topics.
Yes.
And that's why this would be a CSEC would be a nice prerequisite
for them
in order
to
to do
understand that, because
And
you have to understand the factorization,
Good.
the quadratic expression.
good and all
Right,
that. And
right.
with the factorization, there are 3 methods that we encounter right here.
Yes.
You understand me? So remember, the problem is focusing on indices, exponential equation. But when solving the exponential equation, you're going to other topics, prerequisite topics.
All right. Wow. That question was a lot. Was fully loaded. We're going to take a break. We're in our final segment of the show. When we come back, we're going to just wrap up this question and see where else we go in the context of the paper. This is the A-Team Radio Show. We'll be right back after this.
I hit you off a joke. If I see them, I hold your red and big tonight. You puke, me look and say, book. If you pressure on your book, if you not no education, people treat you like a book. Turn you in a handyman, dog, food you off the cook. Them no one no candy man, no Barbie can.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
November is being celebrated as Local Government and Community Month under the theme Local Government at Work, Facing the Future Together. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Sunday, November 3 for the live streaming of the National Church Service, or visit the Webster Memorial United Church, 53 Halfway Tree Road. Don't miss this spiritual broadcast. Come and join the praises with us as we take you on a spiritual journey. So tune in to Nationwide 90 FM from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Sunday, November 3, 2024. It's the National Church Service. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. Due to the live stream of the National Church Service on Sunday, November 3, Urban Paradise will not be aired. Nationwide 90 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause.
Me sing, book. And if you pressure on no book, you illiterate and foolish, you might on a cook. And you not go get no work, and your teeth like a puss. Send me granny with the purse, I hit you off the joke. If I see them, I hold your red and big tonight, you puke.
Welcome back to the A-Team Radio Show right here on Nationwide at 90 FM. You're listening to the voice of Damon Scarlett. I have with me in studio Damon Chippy. We are doing some problem solving this evening as we're looking at the paper 2 sample paper of additional mathematics, ADMATS as we call it. You know, as we are applying all the principles from we talk about quadratic expressions or equations rather, factorization, substitution, all the works just in one question, just to solve the equation. And what is important too is that looking at how the questions are worded. So for example, when you say solve, you know that then your level of critical thinking comes into play there.
I always say to students, there's a solve the equation.
Yes.
You also look at to see if there's no equal sign, it's just an expression. It's just a mere expression.
Yes.
So you're not solving right there. All right? But there's a solve the equation. You know, might have said, okay, what to solve? The only letter there is in there, that is, which would have been the unknown variable,
Right.
would have been x. So you're actually solving for X. So the examiner don't have to explicitly say solve for X.
Okay.
They say solve for the equation. You look at the equation. The only letter is there is X, so you must solve it for X. Mark you, if it's two unknown letters, you would have to think about simultaneous equation. You understand? You're solving for the two unknown variables.
So
right?
such a question like this, would this fall in the algorithmic knowledge?
Yes, because if you notice,
Okay.
me have to do a step-by-step approach.
Right.
But the truth is that, I mean, I'm pressing for time here.
Yes.
So, viewers, it's good to come down to CTS. You understand me?
That's right.
And get the full package.
That's
you understand
right.
me?
Yeah, man.
But so my students now would have benefit from me going through step-by-step
Step.
approach on the board until they actually comfortable and okay and understand. And truth be told, sometimes I don't have to involve all the different steps that are displayed here.
Okay,
You understand me?
yes,
Because after a while, for my students, I then tend to wean them from certain me presentation.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, so they will now understand over time. If I move on from one step to a next, not involving all of these steps, they will then understand what happened, what's behind the scene is.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. So thanks for that, because I know so that was a part of section 1
Yes.
of the paper that's really looking at all things algebra and everything like that.
Yes.
Let's see if we could get another one in from perhaps section 2.
All right.
I know that focuses on coordinate geometry.
Yes. So that's
Right.
a number 3 type question.
Okay.
So now, good. So section 2, as we can see here, all right. So this is coordinate geometry. In other words, as I tell students, is really focusing on equation of a circle. All right, and this would be a topic that is a topic that they're not familiar with. While they're familiar with like equation of a straight line, y equal mx plus c, equation of a circle now is pretty much new to them at that point. But you tend to give them some sort of relation of what they already know, how you come about with the equation of a circle.
Right.
You understand me? For those who would have completed the CXC syllabus, where we talk about the length of a straight line and all of that factor into the whole equation of a circle. Because the truth is that the equation of a circle is really simply the length of the radius.
Right.
You use the length of the radius, which the radius is a straight line.
Okay.
You understand me? Along with the center,
The center
of the circle,
right.
and a point on the circumference. You understand me? Any point on the circumference. You come about with the equation of a circle. All right? So here they give you 3 part A, part 1. The points M, which is 3, 2, and N, which is minus 1, 4, are ends of a diameter. So this is where reasoning come in now, Damien.
Yes.
Now, you have to use your imagination skills. You envision the circle. Let me put this circle in red. And let me increase the thickness. So here we have a circle. No, so?
Right.
So they say the point M and N are ends of a diameter. We know that a diameter of a circle
So
is a straight
line that passes
through the center
of the circle. Right.
So this is the center. I'm just assuming, making that assumption
Yes.
right there that this is the center. So call this one M right here, 3, 2, and call this one N.
N
So they have
minus
to
one
to
first.
learn to be visual. So although there was no diagram
There, they have to draw
but
it.
for them to really bring across the point and to effectively analyze the question and able to solve the question, it's good when they can be able to draw the picture diagram based on
Yes.
what the information is saying. All right. So now they said that you must determine the equation of a circle. First thing, in order to determine the equation of a circle, students would have already know the format for equation of a circle, which is also on the formula sheet. However, my student then would need a formula sheet to determine that because, I let them appreciate how the formula come about. All right, which is x minus a square plus y minus b square equal to r square. They would know that this is the standard version of the equation of a circle. Okay, you have two equations of a circle: the standard version and the general equation of a circle. You understand me? So therefore, first thing first, they would have to find what is the center of the circle. Back from CXC, they would have already know how to find the midpoint of a line. Because really the center of this circle is really the midpoint of the diameter. You see how your transfer of knowledge is.
Yes.
The midpoint, so you dealing with midpoint of a straight line. Carried over to a circle and diameter, we know that the midpoint of the diameter has to be the center of the circle. You understand me? So you use your knowledge of finding midpoint, which midpoint formula would be x2 plus x1 over 2, comma, y2 plus y1 over 2. The subscript is really telling them the second x coordinate plus the first x coordinate. So the first x coordinate, which is 3 here, and the second x coordinate, which is -1. So we said 3 plus -1 would that be 3 minus 1 divided by 2. That would be 1. Because 3 minus 1 is 2. Divided by 2 is 1.
1, right?
So that's 1 so far. And then we have the second y coordinate, 2 plus 4, that's 6 divided by 2. That is what, 3?
3, right?
So this would have been 3. So normally, the students over time will, in doing the exam, they don't have to go in too much details because they would know how to easily come about with the midpoint just by looking at it.
Okay.
All right? So now, then I use the center of the circle to bring home my point. All right, because this is the center of the circle. So therefore, the center of the circle, this is 1 and this is 3. So, in fact, the center is really A, B, really. So A here is 1.
1 and B is 3.
Good. So x minus 1 to the square, that's cube, plus y minus 3, that's all,
to the square,
equal to r squared. But we have to know what is the radius.
The radius,
that's
sorry,
the length of the radius. So first thing, this is the radius. You use the formula for length of a straight line. All right? So therefore, you can easily tell what is the radius. So the length of a straight line, they would have already known that is x2 minus x1, close bracket square, plus y2 minus y1, close bracket square. So x2 minus x1, 3 minus minus 1, that will be 4. So that's 4 square, plus. So minus times a minus is a positive.
Yeah.
So if you or the viewers are having problem following, sorry viewers, I'm actually pressing for time. All right. So now then we have y2 minus y1, that's negative 2 square. So 4 square, that is 16, plus negative 2 square. Negative 2 square is positive 4.
4.
So 16 plus 4, that's 20. Right? Clear?
Amen.
So r is equal to 20. Now treats r square here, square here. So all of this here would have been 20. So this would have been 20 right here. So not square root 20,
Yeah, I thought about to ask it because I was wondering.
Because the square here would have get rid of the root to eliminate the root.
Okay.
You understand me? So now, and that would be a standard equation of a circle. You understand me? So it's again students.
So is that the equation of the circle is what now? 20?
The equation of the circle would now be, this is a standard equation of a circle. This is x minus 1 in bracket square plus y minus 3 in bracket square equal to 20. You understand me? So it's not just part of it, the whole part of it.
The whole of it. Make the equation of the circle. Okay.
Good. So if you want the other version of it, the general equation of a circle, you would then have to expand the bracket. Sorry, let me that's clear in here. We're actually expanding the bracket now. X minus 1 square. Now, the students would have been capable by the time they're ready to do the exam in just looking at this and know how the bracket is expanded, and they would know that this would be x squared, all right, minus 2x plus 1, and then plus y squared minus 6y plus 9 equals 0. So probably you might see me doing it and you say, oh my God, what is it that sir has done, or what is, you know, understand me? But I would teach them how to expand this bracket just by looking at it using the knowledge of a perfect square factorization method. You understand me? So the viewers, for those who are not able to, who are wonder how may I come about with it, I'm just pressing for time.
Right. I'm basically out of time as well.
And, you know, but again, you want to see the real deal and be able to understand, you just have to come down to CTS.
Yes, and where can they find you and how can they get in contact with you?
So, 9 Westminster Road, that's in Havertree, just across from Twin Gates Plaza. And they can get us at 876-476-2277 or go to Instagram, Chippy Tutoring. You can't miss it. You can WhatsApp, ask questions, how you can be a part of our team, and take it from there.
All right, I want to say thank you so much to Damien and Chippy. We're out of time just now, but I want to encourage you to go on to YouTube and to watch the visual part of tonight's tutorial. And again, if you're going to be doing additional mathematics, you have to understand the basics. Ensure that you have a strong foundation in algebra, geometry, and also elements of calculus, right?
Good, but don't worry, viewers, I mean, I'll have my ways of having you know all about jobs, what you need to know to arrive at this position.
Definitely. So I want to say thank you so much to Damien for coming through last week and this week. And next time we'll have him back to talk to us a little bit more about CSEC mathematics and also physics. I want to say thank you to all our viewers, those who partner with us, and of course our technical operator, Andrew Anderson. Want to say good night to everyone and have a great weekend. We'll do it all over again next week. We'll have another course online for you. Blessings.
If you not no education, people treat you like a book. Turn you in a handy man, dog, food you up the cook. Them no one no candy man, no Barbie can no brook.
It's the weekend and the youth are taking over the airwaves. Yes, we are the new voices and faces of the